Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kid Lee, and this is the TOR report for the week of October 12th, 2013. Now, before I get into this, I just wanted to say real quick, with this week having some fairly big news, the Q&A piece that I normally do at the end, I am going to instead do an opinion piece, so stay tuned for that. In this week's news, the second digital expansion for Star Wars The Old Republic was announced this week. The name of the expansion will be called Galactic Starfighter. The expansion will include a 12v12 free flight space combat, multiple battle zones and gameplay modes, the ability to customize your starfighter via parts and different paint jobs along with different abilities. And you will be able to master a variety of ship roles, such as Scout and Gunship. The release date for this expansion will be based on your player status, subscribed, preferred, and free to play. For subscribers, early access will begin December 3rd, 2013, and you will receive an exclusive Daring Gunship paint job with early access gunship role unlocked. You will also receive the Strike Fighter Valiant paint job and Scout Valiant paint job, the Imperial Battle Ace and Republic Squadron Commander pilot suits, the in-game titles of First Galactic Starfighter and Test Pilot. For preferred status players, your early access will begin on January 14th, 2014. You will also receive the Imperial Battle Ace pilot suit, the Republic Squadron Commander pilot suit, and for free-to-play players, your access will begin on February 4th, 2014, and you will receive the Imperial Ace pilot suit and the Republic Squadron Commander pilot suit. And we'll go ahead and move on to some dev chat. The dev chat this week will be pretty much focused around the new expansion talk. On the expansion announcement page, the devs used the words maximum leveling and progression, and some people wanted some clarification on what this meant. Eric Musco then said there is a system of leveling and progression for Galactic Starfighter itself, and just like the rest of SWTOR, subscribers will get a bonus to that progression. Sam Skyrunner asked, "You present this as an expansion. Does that mean a new planet and level cap?" Eric Musco then says there will not be a new planet and there is no increase in level cap with this expansion. To that point, there will not be any space-based PvE content with the digital expansion. It is only going to be PvP. And finally, Eric Musco does confirm that the expansion will be free for all. Let's go ahead and move on to the SWTOR how-to. The question was asked, if you have a max level character that is already maxed out on either the light side or the dark side points, and you want to basically reverse it and regrind it to the other side, what is the best way or the fastest way of doing that? Well, if we take a look at costs here real quick, just so you can get an idea of what I may be talking about, you can see he is maxed out on light side points. So what would I have to do, or what is the best way to regrind that to dark side if I chose to do so? And really, there's only three main options. Now, there might be a few other little things, but there's only three main options. Option 1, if you have the ability to do so, or the open slot, you could pick up Diplomacy. Now, if we actually open up Diplomacy here and take a look, each Diplomacy mission gives either light side or dark side points. So that would be one thing you could sort of grind on to rework that. The second option is to basically grind out flashpoints. Now I jumped into the Black Talon here real quick just to give this little demonstration, but as I'm sure most of you already know, certain conversations can give you the dark side or light side points. So as I sort of mentioned before, just sort of grinding flashpoints, probably, Black Talon or S-less would probably give you the most, but just basically grinding that would give you that sort of second option. If you can do the flashpoints along with diplomacy, that is definitely going to give you a little bit of a quicker grind. And finally, option 3, which is currently not here, but if it was here, it would be, well, right here. Option 3 is the new Bounty Contract Week. There is a little vendor that sells drinks and droids, shock droids, and I believe in each mission that you do, there's also one light side, dark side option. So once a month, when that comes around, that would be sort of option 3. So if you can get the trifecta going, that is pretty much the best way to do it. I mean, if you can only do 1 or 2, it's definitely going to slow your progress, but if you can get all 3 of them going, that is going to be the quickest way to reverse the light side, dark side options. If you would like to send me a question, send questions to kidleeasf@gmail.com or send me a private message on YouTube. As I said at the start of the show, I'm not actually going to do any question and answer this week. Instead, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think of this new expansion. First of all, the name, Galactic Starfighter, is that really the best they could come up with? I mean, if I actually sat down and thought about it a while, I could probably come up with something a lot better than that. It's like a generic term. It's not really a name for like an expansion. So I don't know what they were thinking with that. Now, I think if you're really into PvP, then you'll probably really like what they're going to do with this expansion. Something to kind of think about, though, is, they talked about the 12v12 free flight space combat. That is basically going to be just an arena system in space. That's exactly what that's going to be. And whatever other PvP modes they decide to add, they're all going to be, you just queue up for it, and it puts you in space on whatever ship you have selected. They're not going to have any, like, go to your hangar and get in your ship and fly out into the space. They're not going to do anything like that. If they were, then they would have announced more PvE type content and, maybe some exploration or some mining out in space or something else. But if you're not into PvP at all, then you're probably not very happy with this expansion, because there's really nothing for you. Like I said in the one dev chat, the dev said there will be no space PvE at all. So that's really disappointing that they decided to go the way they did. Now, yes, it is possible that down the road they might add some PvE stuff, but again, with the queuing system that they're going to be doing, it'd be really interesting to see what they do with that. I mean, you're going to queue for PvE content. I mean, are they going to put flashpoints out there? I mean, maybe that's kind of a neat idea, like some sort of space flashpoint or space operation or something. That might be okay. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, if you're a PvE fan, then you're definitely disappointed. I do kind of like what they did with the ships, on how you're able to paint them different colors, and there's actually different paint schemes and that sort of thing. I wish they would have taken it a step further and actually added in more parts and pieces to where you can really customize it. Like, I want my wings to look like this, I want my engines to look like this. They could have went that extra step, and all the pieces would have different stats. But I think everything is going to be a fairly generic design, and then from there there's different variations and different, like I said, different paint jobs and that sort of thing. So it's a nice step, but they could have taken it that one step further and made it a lot better. I've had a couple people comment to me. They think, well, they're kind of bringing back, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, that old game, and we kind of think that's maybe how it's going to be a little bit. And if it goes that way, that'll be pretty cool. But again, it's definitely going to be a wait and see on a lot of this. And as soon as I'm able to get coverage of the actual combat and do some myself and all that, I will post that as soon as I can. But I think that will go ahead and do it for this week's TOR report. So everybody stay tuned for my continuing coverage for Star Wars: The Old Republic, and everybody keep playing and have fun.